Hello, and welcome to I'll Knit With You. My name is Rebecca. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as EvilTwin2. You can find show notes on the blog, illknitwithyou.blogspot.com. You can join the Ravelry group on Ravelry if you search for I'll Knit With You, or you can email me illknitwithyou@gmail.com. I think that's the first time I've ever gotten it right on my first try. How are you guys? How are my owls and my yous? Welcome back. I have been going non-stop since pretty much last time I podcasted. There's been a bunch of crazy stuff at work. That's been super fun, but I've been learning a lot of cool new IT stuff, so that's fun. And I've been knitting like crazy because apparently when you rejoin back into the Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup after taking the term SOS, you lose your mind and you knit for all of the points, which is what I've been doing. So I have a pretty significant amount of things to show you, but let's start off this podcast by introducing some people and announcing a winner. So we have one new frond, and that is Dilbeck, who is Dill from Ireland. So welcome. And then we do have a winner for this beautiful skein of yarn, and I would love to get this out to you ASAP. I know the contest ended about 20 days ago, but this is a great Thanksgiving colorway, so I want to make sure you have it by then. And the winner of that is Spice2S. So Spice2S, send me a PM on Ravelry and with your mailing address, and I will send this right out to you. It even comes with these cute little stitch markers. Yeah. And the donator of this prize, once again, was CajunGirlKnits.etsy.com. So, and Cajun Girl is her name. And I met her at SSK, and Shannon is just the nicest person. And so you should all go buy her beautiful yarn. She makes the most beautiful self-striping colors ever. So what have I been up to for the last little bit? Well, I've been reading some good books, and that includes the Spinner's Book of Yarn Design. I bought this book as an ebook a while back, and whatever reason I just was like, I just want to read about spinning yarns, because I'm doing all these different, I lowered my board so you guys can see better, all these different yarns for an owl, which I kind of have stalled out on for the moment. That's okay. And so I just thought I'd want to understand that from a more technical point of view. So I've been reading the Spinner's Book of Yarn Design by Sarah Anderson. I've also been reading the Paper Magician series. It's not amazing, but it's also a really, really short read because Amazon added this thing called Prime Reading, if you haven't heard of it. It's kind of like their version of a library. So you can borrow books, but you have to return them when you're done in order to borrow more books. So it's kind of fun. You can have up to 10. And they have a lot of first of good series on there. And so this was the first of a series. And then I just had to figure out what happened with the rest of it. So I did finish all of those books, which is pretty fun to read that fast. I'm super pumped for the Gilmore Girls to come back. That is just under 20 days now. And I'm stinking excited. I almost wore a Gilmore Girls shirt today, but I am doing laundry also while I'm podcasting. So I have 2 different shirts now. So if you're a big fan of that, let me know in the podcast thread, because I'd love to have a little chatter thread about it, but I'm not sure how many people who watch this also watch that. And since I love podcasts, I listen to the Gilmore Guys podcast. And they kind of go through every show, and they just talk about funny moments, and they have really fun guests on, and they do interviews with a lot of the cast. And it was revealed in the trailer for the new episode, for the new miniseries, or whatever you want to call that. They actually got so big, they are in the show now, and so that's pretty cool for them. I knit that stuff for my grandma, and I gave it to her, and here is a really cute picture of her wearing it. And I also gifted her that epic plain pooling shawl that I made, because it was just way too big for me, and I knew it would keep her warm when she gets chilled or whatever, and so I gifted that to her as well, and she seemed really excited. So I'm happy to knit for my grandma. The Geeky Girls Knit podcast, Cece of that podcast put out a Battlestar Galactica sock kit, and I had just restarted watching it because I found out it was on Hulu, and I haven't watched it for a really long time. Sorry, that's my laundry alarm. And so it was perfect timing, and so I did hesitate because shipping from overseas is a little expensive, but I thought, when is this going to happen again? Like, all the stars would align, and so I splurged a little bit, which means that I'm definitely going to be knitting from stash, hopefully for the rest of the year. I will be making some Black Friday purchases, but that's for next year knitting, right? That's how you do it. And so that I'm pretty excited about. And I've been knitting a ton of Milos, which I'm pumped to show you. And the SSK signups just opened up, so I have thrown my name into the lottery. Maybe this will be year number 3, maybe it won't, and that's okay too. But I'm excited either way. So after all that blather, let's move on to some blobbins, because I have some. Okay, last time I talked to you guys, I was still like deep into spinning mode, and that has really stalled out, but I still have the stuff that I done right after I talked to you guys. So I have the, where'd it go? This is American Diner. It's a yarn that I finished. It is the second one on my list over here. I don't know if you can read that. I don't know if there's a glare, but depending on where you're watching, it might change that too. You know, your iPhone versus like a computer screen is a huge difference. Or if you cast it to your TV or however you do it, you know. So this may be more or less visible for different people. So this is my owl for the Harry Potter Knit Crochet House Cap. And I explained it all last episode. But I also went ahead and put all the classes that I finished for October. The most you can do for points is 6, and I did 7 classes and 2 rounds of Quidditch and all sorts of stuff. And so, been a busy little bee. Okay, so back to the blobbins. This is the American Diner. It's 417 yards, it's 119 grams, and it is 50% wool, 50% Tencel. And it spun up so much better than I expected Tencel to spin up for me, which was really nice, and I think it's really, really pretty. And this is one of the yarns that I bought, I think, at my first fiber festival. So, pretty excited. Most of the stuff is really old fiber stash. I know that stuff gets compacted, and I've had a couple of issues with stuff like that. So I'm trying to get it spun up so that it doesn't just compress. So I'm working on stashing down that, because I have one really large basket I like to keep it all in, but I have overflow of that now. So I feel like once there's some room in that I would feel more comfortable buying more fiber, because I have a place for it, and right now I don't have a place for the fiber that I have, because sometimes you just go a little fiber crazy, and I think that's okay. After that, I've been working on this Raspberry Mint Art Bat, and you can kind of see, because this is an Acreworks bobbin, on the ends what that looks like. But it's a lot of colors and a lot of sparkle, but there were these really weird, like, it was this, I can show you what it looks like. There was this kind of stuff in there, and I'm not sure what it is. It's like threads, but also it's really fluffy, and it was completely impossible to spin. And so I couldn't draft it, I couldn't spin it, I couldn't do anything with it. And it's an art bat, so I just pulled it out, you know? So I'm not sure how much this weighs now, and I did try to get some of it thinned out so I could spin it, because I felt bad, you know, tossing a lot of the mint, because I really like that color. And so I need to figure out, once I'm done, what this weighs, because I feel like I don't feel like it was heavy, but it looks significant because it's fluffy, right? So that's that. And then I've been spinning Gritty Knits in the Agony colorway, this pink color. Nope, that's not the right one. That's part of my Maria spin that I'm also working on, but I haven't spun on that one quite as recently. This is the Agony colorway that will mix with the Raspberry Mint, and so it's got dark purples and some lighter areas. So, and I still have some of that left to spin, just tangled in some other roving over here. It's a fiber party. So this is what that looks like in the braid. So it's coming along. It's doing its thing. But the nice thing about that is I'm spinning that whole thing onto one bobbin. I don't have to divide it because it's plying with the Raspberry Mint. So it makes it a little easier on my brain. Now I have a ton of FOs, but I do have a couple of whips to show you. So I have, I did not write on the board. I have decided to do Nanny Swimo, which, if you are not familiar, NaNoWriMo is its partner, which came first, and it is National Write a Novel in a Month. It's like a self-challenge, and for that one you have to write a 50,000 word story. For Nanny Swimo, National Knit a Sweater in a Month contest, whatever you want to call it, you have to knit a sweater in a month that's at least 50,000 stitches, which means you can't use like a super bulky weight because not enough stitches. I did this a couple of years ago, and I made a hero with the Fiber Town podcast. They were kind of doing a thing, like a hero along, and that hero was great until I put it in the dryer like a novice sweater maker that I was. And so yeah, hero got one a couple times. It was very warm. Because I did fingering weight held double because it was supposed to be worsted weight, and it wasn't quite 50,000 stitches, and there was a whole lot of sadness surrounding it. Just was not my happiest sweater, but I was very happy to finish it. So this year I am doing the Breathing Space. Now I know this is a super popular sweater and I feel kind of weird about knitting something that's so popular because I feel like there's so many other copies of this out there. But in the end, you know, I don't get to wear everyone else's sweaters. I get to wear my sweater. So I'm doing it with, oh, we are connected to stuff here. This is my main color. It's this very beautiful golden color. And then I have this color as well. And those colors, I have them over here. Sorry to be leaning all around on you guys, but I want to make sure I get you the correct information. This is Malabrigo yarn sock in the ochre colorway. And this is Northbound Knitting Superwash Merino Nylon Fingering in the Nebula colorway. Now these colors don't really feel like they go together, right? Because this has got reds and blacks and whites, and it may not be what you think of. So I did a swatch to see if I liked it. So many things, and I do really like it. And Aurora, oh, is it 144? She wrote a comment. Sorry, I just like blanked for a second there. She wrote a comment on my swatch on Instagram, and she said, if you're not sure how you feel about it, put it across the room and look at it and see if there's enough difference in the colors for you there. So I'm gonna hold this way back here, and then so there's my swatch, and I feel like it does look really muddled, but I'm kind of okay with it. Like, it doesn't need to be like these wow stripes. It just needs to be, I think the construction's pretty fun so far, so I'm cool with that. And I like that close up you can really see what's going on. I like the speckliness of it, so I'm really excited about this. And I did get gauge, so that was pretty cool, right? When does that ever happen? So I did get gauge. I've been doing a lot of swatching lately. I've got swatches to show you guys. So I got gauge, and started knitting my sweater, you guys. And so I have an intense Excel spreadsheet figuring out my stitches per round, which will figure out my total stitches. So that's been fun too, because that's what I do at work. I can't knit as much there. So, this is my little neck. So far, that's all I got done. I can't really stretch it out because my needles aren't on a super long cord cable, what I'm trying to say. But it's coming along, and I'm about to switch. I'm 6 more repeats of what I'm doing away from starting my striping. So get excited. I'm excited. Are you excited? Okay, so that is the Breathing Space by Vera Valimaki. How much fun is that? Put this all away really quick so it's not all in my way. Now, my Northbound Knitting skein did have a lot of, like, it just broke. So I'm not sure if the skein had cuts in it or what was going on, but I have 2 little balls and then the one big cake, and the one big cake has like 2 sections in it. And since I am doing stripes, I'm not as concerned about it. It's actually going to be not so bad. And I have more hanks of this, so I'm curious if all the hanks are the same way or if I just happen to get a bad one. But I'm not the kind of person who gets like upset about that. Now, if all my hanks are really torn up like this, I'm gonna maybe send someone a letter. I don't know. But has anyone else had issues with Northbound Knitting's fingering weight yarn? I'm just curious. Like, let me know on the thread. Okay, the next thing. I want a lot of these sock project bags from Eat Sleep Knit. Perfect. And I've even won some matching measuring tapes, so that's fun. Anyway, this is my next big thing. I have to switch my notes over here so I can see and tell you the correct information for everything. So I had a little bit of heartbreak this month, or in October, because for my Order of the Phoenix over here, and that's green, so I really don't think you guys can read that. I promised I would do 800 yards of lace with 2 colors with beads, and I did. It's beautiful, except that instead of 800, I did 650, and since I had said 800, I have to do 800 for it to count. But since I did the other knit, which I will show you in a minute, all at once, all in the month of October, I just turned it in for a class and said this is what it's going to be, and had to deal with it, you know? And so I had to start another lace shawl, which is not quite what I was expecting to do this month, but, you know, I wanted to do Nanny Swimmo, or Nanny Swimmo. So trying to balance these 2 projects now, but yellow apparently is my color for November because I am doing the Papa Freya and the Juniper Moon Farm Finley yarn in bright yellow. So there is that. I've not gotten very far. This is, I think, a free lace pattern, and the construction is amazing. You do a rib section near the top of it, and it's really fun to knit, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. So I'm pretty pumped about that. I didn't realize it was in the middle of the row when I picked this up to show. Sorry about that, you guys. But I'm a couple of charts in. You know, lace kind of starts off small and then all of a sudden, bam, you're knitting with like 3,000 stitches, it feels like. So, and here's that yarn. It's just this bright, bright yellow. And I will be doing a grayish color with it. And I think I'm going to do silver beads on the yellow part, maybe? I also have some teal beads, but I don't think I really want that. So, probably silver beads, just enough to give it a glisten. So, beads, and it does not call for beads, but it shows you where you can put beads. And I don't feel like beads are always super necessary, but I'm excited to show you guys this as it goes along. I do have a lot of fun knitting it, and since my purse project knitting is usually stuff that I can focus on, and I can do, the lace charts are small enough repeats that I can do it on my phone. I don't need to zoom in super close because they're not big long stretches. They're like, do these 20 stitches over and over. It works for me. I can do this in my purse. Okay, so I think those are my, oops, let's go over here. I think those are my whips. Ready for some faux, you guys? Because I'm ready to show you some faux. Okay, so first off, I was talking about the sadness that is my other shawl. The other shawl, it was the MCal. Make sure I show you the right side. This is the right side. It was an MCal by Boo Knits called Taboo, and it was for Halloween. And I didn't knit it perfectly, but I already made one. I kind of want to try something else. So this, here it is, and it's gorgeous. It's 650 yards total, including the teal. Both of these yarns are B&H lace. I'm sorry, T&H Fiberworks Bling Lace, T&H. I bought this at the Iowa Fiber Fair that I went to many, many moons ago. It is really fun. I messed up the top lace. See how it's kind of like angling? I misread the directions, but that's okay because it's mine and no one has to know but you guys. And I am totally showing you the wrong side. This is the right side. Can you even tell? It's a small picture. Okay, sorry about that. Here's the front. It's a really beautiful bottom edge, and the bottom edge does have beads. Look at that, you guys. And it was a picot bind off, which took me like 4 days to do. And it doesn't even count for what I was going to count it for. But that's okay, because it's gorgeous. And I've been wanting a yellow shawl for a long time. A yellow lace shawl, to be very specific. So I wear a lot of maroons and purples, and I feel like it'll look really good with that. Like in the right context. So here it is. It's done. My Taboo. I blew through this and somehow still got a ton of stuff done in October. So hopefully if I can keep that mojo going, I'll be okay for the rest of October, or for November. So we will see. Next I have the, what are these? Where are they at on my list? The Black Locust Mitts. I knit these on a US 6 from the Blue Moon Fiber Arts. BFL Sport in the True Blood colorway. And I knit this for a Eat Sleep Knit along. And I think the pattern was free. I'm not recalling it right now. But it was really fun to make. They're just some eyelets. Just very pleasant looking. I don't wear a lot of fingerless mitts because I have a watch, and so it's kind of hard to wear a watch with fingerless mitts, but I did enjoy making them, and if I can figure out who they should go to, maybe for a Christmas present, I'm not going to put this on, this is going to snag, then maybe I will gift them, but they still need to be blocked. But I feel like things that stretch that much are also okay, not blocking. But I don't knit a lot of fingerless mitts, but these are nice, make my arms warm. That's what they're supposed to do, right? I knit with Regia for the first time, and I made some socks for 10. Now, I have made socks for 10 before, and I had total heartbreak because they do not feel comfortable on my feet. I don't know if it was the amount of stitches I used, or the yarn I used, or just a combination of all that grisly awfulness, but these fit great, and I really like them. So, the heels are puffy because I've already worn them once, but there you go. This is a CC sock pattern. I really like her sock patterns, if you cannot tell, because I did knit like most of her book, and then also other patterns that I happened to buy from her, and then her sock kits, so you know. But these were super fun to make, and they're super fun to wear. And then I have the Milo Parade to show you. One of them I've already gifted away, and then here are the other two. So I have little preemie cousins in the NICU right now, and I want to make them clothes because they're so tiny and precious. And so I've been fiddling with the Milo to try and get the right size for them. And so this is out of Knit Picks. I wrote it down so I can tell you. Knit Picks Swish DK Jade, and I did a test swatch because some people were saying it was washable and some people said it wasn't. And so this is machine washed and dried, little swatchy swatch, and it seemed like it was doing good. So I did that. So I haven't washed and dried this one yet, but I'm going to do that before I give it to them. And I have a yellow one I'm going to make 2 of this same exact everything. But I also wanted to see what it would work like in fingering weight, because that still seems really big for the preemie babies that currently living in the NICU. So this is without changing anything except not doing a cable. This is the same exact pattern, but on fingering weight. And this is just a Millens yarn that I bought at Joann's. It's super crazy sturdy stuff. I've used it as additional parts for socks, and I have like 1,000 balls of it. So it's cute. I need to wash it and see, but to compare, it is quite a bit. It's not as wide, it's not as long, but I did the same amount of everything. So it's interesting to see how different yarns work out. I did it on this one on a size 4 needle, and I did this one on the recommended size needle, which I don't have written down. So, you know. I knit some Hexie Puffs for different things, and you can see some of those listed on my list over here. But I love me some Hexie Puffs, so I had to get going. They're good, quick class projects. This one sparkles. This one's very Christmassy, and this one's really fun. I knit a couple from this yarn before. I don't know who gave it to me, but this yarn's gonna last me forever, I feel like. But I'm totally cool with it. I made my first brioche pattern. I did Rosencrantz, which I think is a paper pattern, and it is not as hard as I thought it was gonna be, because she really walks you through it. And I did have to start over because I had messed up the beginning and there was no coming back from that kind of a thing. And so I think it looks really good. This is the side I made to be the outside, but because it's brioche, I can wear it this way too. So I think it looks like chainmail that way, a little bit. But I took a brioche class at SSK, and I wanted to put that knowledge to use before it had been long enough that it kind of left my brain. So I found this pattern and liked it. Brioche is fun. Double knitting is kind of exhausting. I don't know how much more I'll do, but it is really great for hats because you feel like you just get enough and you're good. And so, but if you guys know any good brioche patterns, even if you're intimidated by it or if you've knitted them before, you know, I'd love to know more good brioche patterns. I know I can pattern search, but it's always fun to crowdsource that information. Sorry, it's just swatches everywhere. I finished. I've been saving this for last for a reason. It is epic, it is amazing, and it is done. And it is the Embrace the Octopus sweater. And it's so big, you guys! Can you see it all? Look at that. So there it is, and then there's the temple that goes down this arm, and then there's stuff all over the back. And I finished it, and I started this the end of March, so this was epic. And using the super amazing tuck all your strands in method that I've got on my product page for this, this is what the inside looks like. It's not quite double knit. Like you can kind of see where the pattern switches, but not completely. But look at that. Every float is tucked in. And the only things that are going up and down are where I've tucked in yarns. I think it looks really, really good. And it's really stretchy. It's kind of a problem with a lot of color knitting, and especially stuff that I've done in the past, where it just doesn't stretch. But this has give, and it's amazing. So I've worn this a couple times already, and I can't wait for it to get colder so I can wear it some more. And it's my favorite thing to say, yeah, I did make that. I didn't try and fit it to me, so it's kind of big and a little bit boxy, but you know what? Winter clothes are okay with that. So, you guys, I'm so stinking happy about it. I just can't even stop smiling when I look at it. So, epic epicness. This is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. I wrote it down here. Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the the Blackberry and Tranquil colorways. Oh. And I did knit it top down, and I did do a lot of adjustments for that. So if anyone in the future decides to make one of these and wants to make it top down, let me know, because I'm happy to help. Because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have known how much body I needed, because it's just hard to tell. And I ended up stopping pretty much right as soon as I could. There are stuff like down to the ribbing. So I'm really glad I did it the way that I did. There you guys go. So since I've been doing all of this knitting, and I also do all the Eat Sleep Knit stuff, I qualified for the golden badge, and this is the Booster Club, and that's kind of like knit-alongs and challenges and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, did you accidentally use your long tail from your long tail cast on instead of your yarn to knit with? You can get some points for that. Oh, did you buy X amount of yards of yarn for your space race? Did you knit on a beach? Did you work on something that took more than 9 months? Did you make something out of only one skein of yarn? Like that kind of stuff. And I did enough to qualify for gold. And with gold, you get this goodie bag, if you so choose. This is the Galactic goodie bag. This is this year's. And I got this purple Noro. Purpley pink magenta Noro. I got this yarn, which is really earthy tones. And it is Malabrigo Primavera in Malabrigo Rios in the Primavera colorway. So I like it. This is not something that I would pick out myself, and I think that's cool. I got all the buttons for all the things that I did, all the different things I completed. So like, I speed knit something, I did a beach bum, I have over 50 friends, I'm a yardage expert. I had a bunch of hearts on one of my Eat Sleep Knit projects, so I won the popularity contest. I used some indie dyers, so I have one that says I'm so indie. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put these all on this bag or what I want to do with them. I'm not super huge into buttons because I'm always worried I'm going to lose them. But this bag is so big and huge, and it's a crossbody bag if you want it to be, you know, like this. And so it may go with me to places. I don't know. I haven't decided. They also gave me a measuring tape. There's a little kitty on it. And a Noro magazine, which I haven't really flipped through yet. But I'm not super crazy into Noro, but maybe this will change my mind. I don't know. See what happens. I do like what Noro does. I just don't buy very much of it. Oh, sorry. That just fell off. And then I got a sticker. A set of cable needles and a pin. So that was a really awesome way to begin November because I thought this was going to get here way sooner, and it just arrived like 2 days ago. So that's okay because I finished at the beginning of October. Took like an entire month for it to get here, and I thought it was lost or I didn't get one. So I did, and it's awesome. And I'm pretty happy about everything. So, okay, so last things last. I am doing the Pigskin Party in the Downseller Studios podcast. I have 212 yards right now, or 212 points right now, which is pretty good. And I'm also still doing my yarn diet, which is awesome. And I have 257 points right now. And I still weigh 2 kilograms or 4.3 pounds because I'm bad at not buying yarn. But I'm knitting a sweater. And there are some sweater quantities I bought that I'm planning to knit up. So I'm making the sweater. I'm making the lace, which that's more yardage than grams. I get that. I won yarn that I didn't buy. And I still have 2 more months, you guys. Maybe I can work off 2 pounds or 2 kilograms in 2 months. Probably not, right? But we'll see. I would like to begin the year with a weight deficit. Although when it's January 1st, I think I am going to start over. And I may just do it by weight and not by points, because the points thing like way over encourages me to buy, because I have 257 points to spend. But I have still gained yarn weight. So there is that part of it. Maybe I'll do a little bit more what goes in must come out kind of thing weight wise. I haven't decided. I may need to tweak some stuff. But that's something I can figure out when I'm not talking to you on camera. So, whether you're planning your next year's yarn diet or splurging, or if you're just crafting what you want to craft, I'll knit with you. Bye guys.